23 D23. How's that go? 3D. I don't know. Whatever. D23. 23. Whoa. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Dylan Knows. This is episode 566. What was the name of the episode again? Something about Disney. Oh, well, I forget what it was. Anyway, it's D23 news. It's D23 week, so going to be a ton of D23 news. I got about a page and a half worth of D23 news. Nothing earth-shattering, but some interesting things rolling through here. We also get our Democratic vice president, and it is probably the best possible choice right now for the Democrats. So I am cautiously optimistic about how the future of our country is going to go. But again, I'm also a realist, and I know that they're getting the maggot Republicans are getting their asses whooped right now, but they're also planning on more coups and using the Supreme Court and using electors to refuse to certify the election, blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing we can do about all that, even if we vote and, we outvote him by 50 million votes. He's still going to figure out a way to say it was a rigged election, which doesn't make any sense to me. He's threatening Republicans who are switching their votes to Democrats. So let me tell Republicans to stop saying you're going to change your vote to Democrat, you stupid fucks. Jesus. So we could use your vote, sure, but stop announcing that you're going to change your vote, because you're going to change it right back, because they're going to drop some sort of blackmail or threaten you or some bullshit, because GOP people are fucking weak. So I'm going to talk about that real quick. I get my political stuff out of the way. I think Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, is absolute perfect choice for Kamala Harris's running mate. He's a very folksy hometown guy, very good. Is a gun guy, was a fishing guy, was a awarded honored veteran of wars, and even Donald Trump congratulate him on a bunch of things, put him on the board of governors and stuff like that. So it's a hell of a thing. And he is what they call the United States, America's dad, because the joke was that he's so folksy and charming that, he's, if your car was broken down, he would come and fix it for you and blah, blah, blah. It's all kinds of funny stuff. But they, and it's hard to believe that it was announced earlier this week. It seems like they've been together forever, because they've done 5 or 6 rallies, which have been extraordinarily packed with people. And of course, Republicans are saying, oh no, they used AI and paid actors, which is what they use. I mean, they say that there's Photoshop. There's someone broke down the Photoshop of a Republican rally, which showed a repeated picture multiple times to make it look like it was full. These are all real people who are going to see them. So it's a very big deal. I think it's a very good deal. I think it's a good choice. I am cautiously optimistic, which was what the episode was going to be named. But I figured with all the D23 stuff, I figured I would talk more about that, because that's going to take up the majority of my show. So I should have a title that represents that instead of cautiously optimistic. So I think it's Disney Lets Loose or something like that is the name of this episode. So I'm also going to talk about the other big story that people don't want me to talk about. It's Taylor Swift. Everybody's hating on Taylor Swift except for the Swifties, and I find that an abomination, because she's nothing but a wonderful human being, and just because she's successful, all these people are freaking out about her, and she's a Democrat and a strong woman, and she's a billionaire, which she made off her own money, and she doesn't take shit from anybody, and is dating the football hero, which everybody, all the NFL fans are freaking out about, because they're going to focus more on her. She's not planning on, she doesn't want them to focus on her. She just wants to support her boyfriend. And all these assholes saying, well, she's doing it deliberately to fuck the NFL. No, the NFL is doing it because they know it rides ratings. Same thing with the fucking media, always following everything that convicted felon Trump does, and not following what Kamala and Tim are doing on there. So because he's a lying fucking piece of shit, and Kamala and Tim are telling the truth and the way it is, and showing what America is really like, and the media is scared shitless because they know they're not getting the ratings, and they want ratings because they're fucking weak pieces of shit. So Kamala and Tim Walz should be the future. They should win a massive landslide. It is the absolute best ticket. They are ahead in all the major polls, but we can't go with poll stuff. That's why I'm cautiously optimistic, because we were like that with Hillary, and then all of a sudden all that shit went downhill too. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I think it's a great thing. But with Taylor Swift, going back to her, she's been doing this insane tour where she works her ass off every night for 3+ hours. And she cheers up her fans. The fans love to see her, and she treats them well and treats the country she goes to well and the people well and all that. And I still can't understand the absolute hatred for her, because it makes no fucking sense. But regardless, she goes to Vienna for her Vienna leg of her trip, and some terrorist fuckfaces said they're going to attack the Eras concert and kill all these Taylor Swift fans and Taylor Swift herself. So Taylor, being concerned about her fans, canceled her shows in Vienna. And then some of these ungrateful fucking fans are screaming at her, saying they want their money back, that she's horrible, she's a terrible person. She's tried to save your fucking life. Could it have been a false flag, false terrorist attack warning? Sure, it could be. But you know what? What if it really happened and you fucking died? What would you do then? What would your family do then? They would be saying, why the fuck did she have her concert? So she went knowing that this would fuck her over in the end, and she canceled her Vienna legs because she was worried about her fucking fans, you assholes, you entitled pieces of shit. Yes, it sucks you can't see her, but you know what? It's better to be alive than not seeing a concert. And you're getting your money refunded, you dumb fuck. It's not like she's taking your money and flying away cackling in her airplane. Luckily, not everybody was like that, and a bunch of her fans went outside around her hotel room and started singing all the songs for her as a show of solidarity for her, unlike these fucking fair weather fans who are bitching and moaning about not being able to see the concert because they could have fucking died. They don't care. It's a bunch of bullshit. So Taylor Swift deserves all the credit for that. And she is also one of the smartest women ever, that she's going to try to figure out a way to make this up to them. I don't know how she's going to do it. I don't know what she's going to do, but she's going to fucking do it, because that's who Taylor Swift is, you dumb fucks. Jesus fucking Christ, get over yourselves. Jesus. God, I hate this country. God, I hate all countries with hate in their body. It's so fucking annoying that it's really pissing me off. And now we're going to see football season coming up here soon. We're going to start hearing all the whining and bitching that they're just showing her, blah, blah, blah. That's the NFL, you fucks. Jesus Christ. Yell at them. Don't yell at Taylor, you dumb shithead. God fucking damn it. The other big news about this week was Tropical Depression Debbie, which hit Florida as a Class 1 hurricane and then worked its way up the eastern seaboard, rammed its way through Baltimore on Friday. Didn't affect us too much here in Reisterstown or even down where I work, which was surprising since I'm closer to Baltimore City. But where the waterways are, the storm surge pushed out the water from the harbor into Baltimore City and also into Annapolis. So there was some flooding there, but there really wasn't anything up here. It was a tropical depression, meaning that the rain was it was heavy, but it wasn't driving thunderous rain. There was no thunder and lightning. The winds were, since the tropical depression, were around 35, 40 miles per hour. So it wasn't really any major thing. Only issue I had was driving to work on Friday. It was not raining. It was between when the depression was going to hit, whatever. The wind was picking up, though, and it was moving my car while I was on the highway, but not enough to push me out of a lane, but enough that I could feel it rocking when I wasn't even touching it. So that was the only scary part about it. But yeah, the rain was just more of a misty, not really misty, but it was like a, what's the proper term I'm trying to look for? It was a soaking rain sort of thing. So it wasn't heavy, big raindrops. It was just constant, like misting almost, but it was a little bit heavier than the mist. and it didn't happen all the time. So we got out of it a little bit. I think Frederick got hit hard because my Aunt Terry said that, and Pennsylvania got hit pretty hard also. But it's just as interesting that a tropical depression finally went through Baltimore area. We haven't had a hurricane, tropical depression, or anything like that, actual one, go through our area for decades, I would have to say. And I mean, that's a good thing because we're not, we don't have the damage and stuff like that. But it was kind of an interesting weather thing because back then in the 90s and the 80s, we used to have hurricanes that rolled up and hit Baltimore all the time. Not often enough, but it was at least once every couple of years we got something that rolled through here. And as I said, it had been like decades since we get remnants of a rainstorm, of a tropical storm or whatever, but we never get the actual storm itself. And we got one on Friday. That also is added to the snow we got the beginning of this year. We hadn't gotten snow in almost 2 years, a substantial snowfall. We got a couple of those in January. So the snow's coming back because we used to get that all the time also. And then we also this summer has been absolutely horrendous here in Maryland with multiple 100-degree days. We haven't had multiple 100-degree days in decades either. So there's some sort of weather shift going on in our area. So it's making me believe that maybe, just maybe, this means that we might actually get a good autumn this year, because the last few autumns the colors haven't been as popping as they should be. It's been a lot more rainy and a little bit warm on the warmer side than on the cooler side. Maybe we'll get an actual real autumn this year, which I cannot wait for. So, because it's August 11th. So we've got about a month and 11 days, something like that. So like 41 days before autumn hits. So we still got a little ways to go. But yeah, so it really didn't affect us that much. And I'm wondering if it was just the La Nina versus the El Nino sort of thing going on. Not sure. So we'll see. But the fact that we got our first substantial snowfall in a long time, we got our first named tropical storm hitting us officially, and we got a whole mess of 100-degree days, all stuff we haven't been getting in this area for, as I said, it had to be like decades for the tropical stuff, years and years since we got a substantial snowfall, and a few years since we got multiple 100-degree days. During the last few summers, we got occasional 100-degree days here and there, but nothing too as bad as it has been this summer, which really sucked ass, by the way, and still sucked ass. But the good news is it looks like the weather is going to be sort of where it should be the next 10 days, 80, 80, 78, 81, 82, 80, 79, 80, 77, 79. So the next 10 days taking us into the August 20th are looking like we're going to be at normal summer temperatures, maybe even slightly a little below. But that's perfect. That's fine. Maybe that's a sign that we're going to get an actual decent fall this year, which would be outstanding because fall is the absolute best season there is. And potentially, do you think that could set up a potential for a whitish Christmas? We haven't had, that's not something that we get all that, we ever get all that often anyway. But we do get it occasionally, and it's been a really long time since we've had one. And we've been getting a lot more warmer Christmas days than we have cold Christmas days. So we'll see what happens. So weather's acting a little bit funny right now. You could call it climate change, you could call it whatever, but it's kind of interesting to see that that's actually going on right now. Now, this is a big thing that happened to me and my family, and I'm going to bring it up anyway because this is my fucking show, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. So if you don't like it, fuck you. But you should be proud of this as well because my daughter, Noelle, had her Eagle Court of Honor finally yesterday on Saturday, the 10th of August. She's been an Eagle Scout for about almost a year now. But the Court of Honor is like her celebration of herself, and she's been putting it off and putting it off. But we finally celebrated. It was a wonderful party. Got a Eagle Scout parent pin, and she had a lot of people there. And unlike some of the other Eagle Court of Honors we've been to before, she kept getting people coming up wanting to say good things about her, and just the amount of love that not just her family but her friends gave to her is very heartwarming. Now our house is a fucking disaster now because my wife had to been running around like a crazy person all week trying to make sure that everything was up to snuff and done properly. So our dishes are all dirty and cleaned and not been put away. We've got extra food everywhere, overflowing, stuff like that. We've got my daughter's presents are all over the house, and it's popcorn season for the Scouts. And I didn't think we have to deal with this again, but they usually stock the popcorn at a other location, and people go get it when they need it for their popcorn sales. But we have a bunch of it here at our house, which we used to have years ago. So Pepper has been lying on them on top, like it's her little own little building. She's actually lying up there now. That's why she's not down here now bothering me. So I'm very proud of my daughter, and thank you for all the family members who came out, and all the well wishes we've got on Facebook. So I still have to post my pictures. I haven't done that yet. I'll probably do that in a little bit. So there we go. All right. Again, I'm not a big fan of the Olympics, but they're finally wrapping up. Today is the last day of the Olympics. So thankfully, we won't have to deal with that again for another 2 years, because the Winter Olympics will probably up in 2 years. Summer Olympics will probably up in 4 years. So we'll see what happens. So it's been pretty good for the Americans as far as I know, but that's all right. The Weekend in Taipei trailer debuted this week. That's Luc Besson, and it's like an undercover agent who's been in a Chinese restaurant trying to get these people gets his cover blown, and he's got to fight his way out of there. So, whatever. They Will Kill You is a new film horror thriller that has cast Zazie Beetz, who was Domino from Deadpool 2. Patricia Arquette and Tom Felton have been cast in that as well. Borderlines, the Eli Roth PG-13 film based on the video game series, is off to an abysmal start. Box office was non-existent. It had at one point a 0% Rotten Tomato score, even though I don't really pay much attention to the Rotten Tomato scores, but it's always kind of jarring when something like that happens. And the creators of Borderline are screaming, please go see the movie. Don't listen to all that stuff. And yet when other people say that, they're like, fuck you. This is the way it is. So I don't know. So, whatever. The Saturday Night trailer, Jason Reitman's film about the first episode of Saturday Night Live, which is set to debut October 11th, released its first trailer, and it's a brilliant one. I actually really, really like it a lot. You get the general chaotic sense of what the film is going to be like. You get to see some of the cast members, portraying these certain roles. The actor playing Chevy Chase actually does a really good job, but you don't hear much. It was mostly focused more on Lorne Michaels and what he has to deal with, but Chevy Chase was really the only one that got a lot of any dialogue, but you got to see how Aykroyd looked and Belushi looked. Belushi looked okay. Aykroyd looked pretty good. Lorraine Newman, Gilda Radner, they looked okay. You get a really good Jim Henson. Whoever played Jim Henson did a great job of that. Paul Schaefer was the actor playing Paul Schaefer was okay. It was a quick glance, but the guy playing Andy Kaufman looks awful. So but as I said, quick glance, maybe it's going to look better, but it looks bad. So we'll see what happens. But it looks like a really intense, fun movie. It looks like it's going to be shot in real time. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty decent hit. I'll probably talk about it more in a few weeks. We get close to Labor Day. We'll run my fall movie preview. Because more stuff keeps getting added and moved around. One thing I'm most disappointed about that we learned this week as well is the Interstellar 10th anniversary re-release of the movie, which is going to be in IMAX, has now been pushed from September 27th to December 8th, which kind of sucks because I want to take September 27th off and watch Interstellar and The Good Robot. And now I still want to see The Good Robot, but I only have 2 days of vacation time left, and I want to take off October 11th, not only to see Saturday Night, but also the Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh movie that's come out that same day also. I want to see Interstellar also, so I got to figure out how I'm going to handle all this. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet, but it kind of pissed me off. And the rumor is that the 70 millimeter cuts were all destroyed by accident, and so they have to recut them and redo them. And they've debunked that, but I'm not sure. Why else would you move it from about 2 months away unless something catastrophic sort of happens? So we'll find out. Still pisses me off though that no, we're not going to be able to see it on September 27th. Now we got to wait till December to see Interstellar 10-year anniversary on IMAX. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream has been announced to debut in January of 2025. Hopefully, from what one person said, just basically tastes like vanilla Pepsi without any cherry flavor in it. So they better add some cherry flavor to make it taste like it's supposed to. Minneapolis neighborhood has a cat house tour where you can walk around and people open up their homes or get their cats in the windows and you can take pictures of it. It had a big crowd that walked around and did it, so that was kind of cool. The St. Louis Cardinals baseball team has a cotton candy burrito. It's a burrito, a cotton candy burrito, basically. So it's a burrito is cotton candy, and when you cut the burrito open, it's filled with candy, like M&Ms and Skittles and shit like that. So it's definitely interesting. It also will probably kill you. Bristol Motor Speedway is set to host a basketball game between the Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds in 2025. It can seat like 100,000 people, so it could be the highest attended baseball game of all time. And it's hard to imagine how they're going to turn a speedway into a baseball diamond. There was one picture that showed how they're going to do it. It looks interesting, but it's still kind of weird. But it's still something that's going to happen next year, so that's an intriguing idea. So we'll see what happens. Some local news. The Baltimore Ravens lost their first game of preseason 16-13 in a very heartbreaking way. The game was tied 13-13 with about 20 seconds left in the game, and the Eagles had the ball, and they were going to try a game-winning field goal from like 50 yards, and the guy missed it. So the Ravens recovered the ball at that point, and we're going to move it down the field and try for their own 50-yard field goal a little bit further down the road. If they could they would have to run a couple plays to get down into a field goal position and try to win the game that way. However, the fourth or fifth string quarterback who came out to play fumbled the ball. The first snap he got, the Eagles recovered it, and they tried another field goal, and they ended up winning the game. They got the field goal 16-13. So preseason really doesn't matter. It's more along the lines of a way to judge players because none of the major stars played in the game. So it's just sort of a way to judge other players to see if they will be conducive to have on your roster. So I'm not putting a big deal into that as well. Also, in other local news, the National Aquarium opens a new $14 million outdoor exhibition. So I've been seeing it being built, and it's now finally open. So that's kind of cool that we have something new down there. Thomas's Bagels is set to create a limited edition Fruit Loop bagel, which doesn't sound all that enticing to me, to be honest. Hot chocolate drops may be the new hot chocolate bomb. Instead of it being one big thing, it's a bunch of drops you put in and it turns into hot chocolate. An enhanced version of the video game Doom got a surprise release this week. Alien Romulus comes out on this upcoming Friday. It's been a big deal. It's probably going to make a shit ton of money. I expect that to be one of the next big hits. Not going to be as big as some of the other ones we've had this year, but it's going to be probably number one this week. And it's probably going to make a ton of money. They are releasing limited edition sneakers based on the footwear of the Alien Romulus characters as well. Colin Hanks, Tom's son, joins Nobody 2 with Bob Odenkirk. The Accountant 2 with Ben Affleck is set to debut April 25th, 2025. And Fortnite has a lot of news come out this week. This one particularly is set to remove exclusivity from Battle Pass skins and I think other stuff as well. Basically, when you have a Battle Pass comes out for the new season of Fortnite, you pay 950 V-Bucks and you get the Battle Pass, and you advance using different challenges, stuff like that, to get to all 100 levels of the battle pass done. And then there's a secondary battle pass, which you have to do, which take up to level 200, where you get more skins, limited edition skins and stuff like that. And this all came about due to they accidentally released a former battle pass skin into their shop back like on Tuesday or Wednesday, and people bought it. But once they figured out the mistake they made, they removed it from the shop and threatened that they were going to remove it from people's lockers who bought it during this time period and refund them their V-Bucks. But then they said, no, we're not going to do that. We'll let you keep it. And then they announced this exclusivity thing. So what is going to happen now is that you buy the battle pass for 950 V-Bucks. And for 18 months, you have the exclusivity rights to the skins that are on that. Then after 18 months, the skins will pop up in the shop at a more exorbitant regular price of 1,500, 12, or 2,000 V-Bucks. So, oh, that's good. So I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it's gonna start with these new battle passes coming out on Friday. Actually, Friday is when the new season of Fortnite starts. That's another big one. So if this 18 months exclusivity stuff is going to start with this battle pass, and so all the other ones we've had before then will not be affected. We'll find out. And yes, I apologize for sticking my finger up my nose, but it was itchy, so I had to do it. So we'll see what happens. We'll have more Fortnite news when we get to the D23 portion of our show, which is coming up here in a few minutes. One death this week on this page anyway. Woody Thompson, former NFL player, died at the age of 71. There's a lot more that happened, but we'll get to that later on. Anniversaries, Stand By Me, 38 years ago this week. Transformers the movie is also 38 years ago this week. Fantastic Island, which was a Donald Duck, Warner Brothers film set around Fantasy Island, was basically they had the WB characters come to this island to relive their fantasies, and then they just, I think, played former cartoons or something like that. It was something that during the time, it was 41 years ago, came out. During the time when cable first came out in the early 80s, my family got it. We got HBO also, and it was one of those movies that they replayed over and over and over again. I've mentioned them a couple times, that HBO didn't have a lot of movies when they first came out, like an 83, 82 window. So they would replay movies over and over and over again. So you'd have one like show up like 3 or 4 times during the day. And so Fantastic Island was one of those. So I would watch it multiple times. So don't remember much about it now, but we did do it. The U.S. version of Whose Line Is It Anyway with Drew Carey debuted 26 years ago this week. That was something that after about 2 years in 2000, something my wife and I enjoyed watching over and over again together. One Crazy Summer, an absolutely great summer film, also debuted 38 years ago this week. Man, a lot of stuff like that. Monster Squad, another fantastic movie, debuted 34 years ago this week. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, another great movie, 39 years ago this week. The Abyss, another great movie, 35 years ago this week. Red Dawn, 40 years ago this week, the original one like that. It's a decent movie, but I wouldn't put it on par with any of these other ones I just announced. So that's all that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The next portion of our show is going to be about D23, because that was the biggest pop culture thing to happen this week. This is all the stuff that I found. There might be stuff that I missed because I wasn't there. So let's just roll through it here real quick. It's in no order, so I'm just going to throw it out there of what I got, so you'll see it in various things here and there. They announced Incredibles 3. I think it's set to debut in 2026. So Incredibles 3 is set to debut here, so we're getting the third Incredibles movie. Frozen 3 was announced to be coming out on 2027. The live-action Frozen Broadway show is set to appear on Disney Plus. A recorded version of the show is set to debut. They did that with Hamilton, and it's a big deal. So they're going to have that released probably around the holiday season, probably. Speaking of the Incredibles will be coming to Fortnite. Disney and Epic have joined forces, and they're going to be doing a lot more stuff now. So the Incredibles will be coming to Fortnite in the fall. The Villains Fortnite has a Maleficent, Cruella de Vil, and a Captain Hook skin will be debuting in the fall also from Fortnite and Disney. Also, the IG, it's not IG-88, but one of the IG bounty hunter robots from the first season of The Mandalorian will be getting its own skin, actually August 12th, which is 2 days from, no, it's tomorrow. Actually, it'll be in the shop tomorrow. So that'll be good, and it'll have a Baby Yoda, another Baby Yoda back bling. This one is, instead of it being floating around this little chart like they have for the Mandalorian, it'll be him in a backpack. So that might be a fun one to get, because the IG-88 is a pretty cool skin. I think there's another skin also coming out for Star Wars. Those are set to come out tomorrow on the 12th. What the hell is this? Oh, the Chapter 4 trailer for Fortnite. It is indeed, it was leaked. I don't know if it was leaked, but they showed it there, and it probably wasn't leaked because they wanted to set it up. It is indeed a Marvel season. It has Shuri from Black Panther, I think, is going to be a skin because they're using her claws as a new mythic. The Captain America shield is going to be a Jonesy Captain America version, and the shield, you're going to be able to throw it, and it's going to bounce around like the shield, which is really cool. Dr. Doom is getting a second skin from Fortnite, and he'll be able to use his gauntlets for magical stuff. The season is called Absolute Doom or something like that. So Doom is going to take over the island. It looks like he's going to be sucking up the power of the Pandora's box, which was revealed in the live event yesterday. And he's going to take control. War Machine looks like he's going to have a skin in there as well, because his guns are going to become a new mythic as well. Mysterio is going to be a character in the Battle Pass, and it looks awesome because Mysterio's got one of the best amazing costumes out there. It was a one-off joke, but people want it so much. The Wolver Peely, the Peely banana character from Fortnite, gets a Wolverine variant. So that's going to be in there as well. And Gwenpool is also set to debut as well as double SMGs, which look really, really cool also. So we've got some cool stuff coming up. New season drops on Friday, and that's cool because my family's going away for the weekend. And normally I'm going to set up all these movies and I don't watch anything. I might end up just say, fuck it, I'm going to do Fortnite all weekend. And maybe watch a movie at dinner time, or if I ever feel like it. So we'll see what happens. It'll probably end up being a movie I've already seen anyway. So instead of one I need to see, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I got the house to myself this upcoming weekend. So I'm probably going to do my show Saturday night, depending on how things go. I don't have to. As I said, I kind of like doing these Sunday afternoon ones. Like, this is how I was when I first did the show. But, of course, the problem with that is in about 3-4 weeks, football starts, and that's what I'm going to be doing on Sundays. So that's why I revert back to Saturday. So we'll see what happens on this weekend. I will probably end up doing a Saturday show this week just because I'll be by myself and I'll be able to work it all out. Friday night, Saturday night, I'm going to be by myself. So Saturday night, no one's going to be here. So I can eat my dinner. I can watch a movie. And then after I watch the movie, I can come downstairs and I can do the show. So we'll see what happens. It might start sooner than 11:30 p.m. Might start at 11, might start at 10:30, depending on if I watch a movie or not. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. So that's pretty cool. Freakier Friday behind the scenes pictures were shown, interviews with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. It's set to debut next year as well. Lindsay Lohan will be singing again. She mentioned that, as did Jamie Lee Curtis during their interview. There's lots of cameos, obviously, from the people from the first one. And they dropped a little bit of hints that Lindsay Lohan is married and has children. And it could be similar to that Netflix film with Jennifer Garner and Emmy Myers, where the whole family switches bodies. So the Lindsay Lohan might switch with her mother again, but her mother might switch with her granddaughter, and the granddaughter might switch with Lindsay Lohan. So we don't know how it's going to work out. Or the father, it's going to be, we'll see how it happens. But it's really great to see Jamie Lee Curtis excited to working with Lindsay Lohan again. It's been one of those that's been in support of her forever, and Lindsay Lohan does deserve a second chance. She's been getting it now, and she hasn't been wasting it, which is good. So congratulations on that. So we did get some of that behind the scenes stuff. We got our first look at the actual front of Red Hulk and his transformation, so it looks pretty cool. The Ironheart teaser trailer still has not been released yet, but looks like that Ironheart is going to be teaming up with the bad guy, the Hood. So we got to look at what her new outfit is going to look like. The Daredevil trailer also was released, still hasn't been released online yet. It's been people who have seen it said that it reminds them of the Netflix film, of the Netflix series. It's violent. You get to see what happens with a lot of characters. Your first appearance of John Barenthal's Punisher. You also get a picture of the main villain, who's Muse, who has blood coming out of his eyes. So that could be pretty cool as well. Multiple costumes for Daredevil. And a very violent one is set to debut March 2025. So we got that to look forward to here. The new Agatha teaser came out. That's set to debut September 18th. So we're going to be getting that sooner than later. So the new teaser, we get a little bit more Aubrey Plaza, a little bit more things going on with that. We got our first look at the Fantastic Four's costumes on Johnny Storm. It's a little bit too much white and blue. I like the white and blue ones, but I think the blue needs to be a bit more prevalent than the white is. But I guess they're going for their a mix of their couple costumes they've been known to have as well. Percy Jackson season 2 has started filming, and it is set to debut next year, which is awesome because Percy Jackson season 1 debuted at the end of last year and bled into the beginning of this year. So that's good to see that they're going to be doing it pretty quickly after that. So it's currently filming right now. Sea of Monsters is a great story, should be a lot more interesting and a lot more action oriented than the first season was, but doesn't matter because the first season was the highest rated Disney TV show on the network's history. Avatar, Fire and Ash is the name of the third Avatar movie, set to debut in December 19th, 2025. So that'll be out next year. So, oh boy, we get more talk about Avatar and another chance for it to do over a fucking $1 billion and become like the number 3 greatest movie of all time. Because the Avatar movies are awful. But we'll see. Coleman Domingo is set to star as Norman Osborn in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man cartoon series. So good on that. Toy Story 5 is set to come out here really soon as well. And they got a first teaser. That looks like it's going to be toys versus tablets. So we're going to get taken into the more recent times, see what happens about that. The Fantastic Four skins will be coming to Fortnite a little bit later in the season, not right away. I think Dr. Doom is the secret skin, so we'll be getting all that stuff a little later on here too. This is also I'm going to talk about here in a second, but let me just see if there's anything else I can catch. 9 Inch Nails is set to score Tron 3, which I think is going to debut next year also. They had the Mando and Grogu teaser trailer, which looked like it had them appearing on Hoth with the Imperial Walkers. They got a first look at the X-Men 97 second season, which looks like they're going to be delving more into the Grant Morrison comic series, which came out around that same time. Eyes of Wakanda is a animated series on Disney Plus, which surprisingly is 4 episodes, and surprisingly doesn't have T'Challa in it or Shuri. Instead, it's going to focus on Iron Fist, of all people. What If Season 3 is also set to debut here soon and is set to have Oscar Isaac reprise his role as Moon Knight as a voice. And also Marvel Zombies new season is also be rolling out here. It's going to be a 4-episode series that's going to focus on Shang-Chi and Randall Park's character, Jimmy Woo, as well. So that could be kind of interesting to see how that's going to go. All right. There's more movie stuff coming up, but we're going to take a little breather here because this surprised the hell out of me, but it makes a lot of sense. A report came out earlier this week that Disney's profits to their Disney World, Disneyland, stuff like that, that going to these places has dropped not dramatically, but it's dropped a little bit over the last couple of years. So they aren't making as much money as they used to, or they're used to. So they're sounding the bell. Oh, Disney World is over and done with. Disneyland is all in trouble. So that's maybe partially true, but you also got to think about what they revealed at D23. In order to keep amusement parks and stuff like this fresh, you need to redecorate periodically. You can't have the same old shit year after year after year after year, because the people who've gone once are not going to go again. Or they might go a second time and make sure they get everything. But once they do everything, okay, we're done. Yeah, we like certain things, but it's way expensive to go there. So why should we spend all this money to do stuff that we've already done? So Disney's decided and revealed here at D23 this week, they're going to do an overhaul on all of their different amusement parks. Now, it's not massive overhauls, but it's more, and it's not going to happen because they have to build the stuff. It's going to be probably the next 5 years. We're going to have a mass renaissance when it comes to these places, but it's to freshen up the coats of these amusement parks. And here's what we got. It's a lot of stuff, so bear with me here. Disney World's Magic Kingdom is set to have a Villains World put onto the Disney World proper as well. So we'll have a Villains World with all kinds of rides and shops and restaurants. So it's going to be a whole new section of Disney in Florida. There's going to be a Coco ride, which was a Pixar film at Disney's California Adventure. There's going to be 2 new Marvel sections at the Marvel stuff. One is going to be the Stark Flight Labs section, which is going to have Robert Downey Jr. reprising his role as Tony Stark and Iron Man on a recorded video or whatever. And also we'll have Avengers Infinity Infinity Defense, where they're going to take on King Thanos, and you're going to go through multiple multiverses and stuff like that. It's all brand new stuff added to the Marvel campus, and will be new things with new stuff like that, and that's going to be coming out here really soon. And Avatar Land is heading to California, which makes sense, I guess. The Lion King Land is heading to Paris's Disneyland, which is good. Spaceship Earth Lounge will be setting up at Epcot, and Pirates of the Caribbean Tavern will be set up at the Magic Kingdom. Those will probably be set up within the next year or so, because taverns and lounges are easier to set up than actual rides and lands. Monsters Inc. Land is going to be joining Hollywood Studios out there in California as a new place. Zootopia is going to be getting its own land in Animal Kingdom, which makes sense since all the characters are anthropomorphic animals. Cars Frontierland is set to debut at Walt Disney World, as well as another Cars-themed area, too. So we got a bunch of car stuff coming up. Encanto is going to be getting its own land, also in Animal Kingdom. So they're really expanding Animal Kingdom a little bit. And Mandalorian and Grogu is getting a new Galaxy Edge ride as well. So you're going to get some more Mandalorian and Grogu stuff. Any other... Andor, okay. So is there anything else? I think that's all the stuff for all the stuff that's going to be coming to the Disney amusement park. So that's a lot of stuff there. Andor Season 2 is set to be debuting next year. It is going to span 4 years, and supposedly going to end just a few minutes before Rogue One. The new name for the Devil Wears Prada sequel has been announced. It's called Revenge Wears Prada. The Skeleton Crew first trailer popped out this week. It looks like Goonies in Space. Looks like a family-oriented show coming out in December. Sorry, my nose is just really itchy up here. But I'm already seeing hate because people hated The Acolyte because it had a person of color lead and also had a transgender person because of these haters. And now they're looking at this sort of kids sort of family Star Wars thing, and they're already bitching and moaning about that as well because, again, colored people cast and aliens, stuff like that. Looks like just a kid stuff, but it looks really cool, and it needs to be Star Wars isn't just for grown-ups, it's for everybody. You need to have this sort of stuff. And it's something completely different than all the stupid Luke Skywalker stuff we've been getting out of here. So I'm excited for it. I think it looks pretty good. Jude Law's in it. He gets just a quick shout out at the end, but you get the most focus on the kids and the aliens, stuff like that. It looks like it's a lot of fun. And there's just haters out there that are uneducated, fuck-faced maggot fuckheads who just are just leading horrible, unhappy lives and can't be happy about anything because they have no emotions and nothing but racial hate in them. And they're a bunch of fucking twat faces. So fuck off, maggot, GOP, misogynistic pieces of racist shit. God damn it, you piss me off so much. Here's another one also, Snow White. They've been screaming about that because Rachel Ziegler is Hispanic. You can't have Hispanic Snow White. Fuck you, racist, misogynistic shitbags. And the dwarfs are CGI. They look awful. Whatever. But the first trailer came out. It looks interesting. It's not my thing because I'm not a big Snow White fan. But I tell you what, though, Gal Gadot as the evil queen, fucking holy shit, does she look fantastic. I mean, she looks like she could be the epitome of the greatest evil stepmother witch out there. She's fucking amazing in this trailer. And, you know, the CGI, you don't get a lot of the CGI dwarfs in it. It's mostly focused on Rachel Ziegler's Snow White, but it looks like they're doing a lot of callbacks to the animated film as well. But, oh my fucking God, does Gal Gadot look amazing as the evil stepmother witch. Oh my God. That might be the only reason really to see it. But Rachel Ziegler, I mean, she looks fine. I mean, she's an attractive woman. She's got a goddamn pretty good singing voice. Again, it's hater, misogynistic, woke, shitbag, people who think woke is being bad, shitbag, maggot motherfuckers who just can't, you can't let anybody have any good things because they're fucking cheerless, racist shitbags who are uneducated, dumb fucks. But Snow White, I mean, as I said, it's not my favorite story, and I'm probably not going to see it, but I'll promote it. I think it looks pretty decent for people who might like it. I think kids will enjoy it. I mean, it's a shame that they didn't get a whole bunch of dwarf actors to do it, but, you know, the CGI, you know, you got to make them look a little outrageous, you know, and as I said, Gal Gadot's evil queen, oh my fucking God, does she look great. As expected, Inside Out 3 is being teased, though there was no real announcement about it saying it's officially coming, but it's teased about when it became the highest grossing movie of Disney's animated time. Yeah, you'll probably get a third one, but they're adding to that as well because Disney Plus is also delving into animated series again also. And one of them is called Dream Productions, which is going to be a D Plus show about how the emotions create Riley's dreams and Inside Out. So it's going to focus on the people who act in Riley's dreams. So it's kind of cool about that. That's due out in 2025. There's also going to be another TV show called Win or Lose from Pixar, set to debut December 6th, which they released a trailer. It looks like it starts off as just a bunch of kids playing Little League baseball, but then it goes into these weird sort of alternate dimension sort of things, and it looks intriguing. I don't know if I'm going to sit down and watch it, but it definitely looks like something unique and different that we're not used to seeing. So that's set to debut actually this year, December 6th, 2 days before the Interstellar 10-year event is going to be released in movie theaters. So that's pretty cool to see that as well. Because there is going to be a Zootopia land coming to Animal Kingdom, you got to have Zootopia 2 coming, and it's coming out Thanksgiving of next year, 2025. So that's good. Lilo and Stitch live action, we've been talking about that as well. It's almost done filming. It's set to be the summer film for Disney in 2025. So Lilo and Stitch live action coming out then. You get a little tease about that. The Mufasa Lion King trailer, the newest one, came out this week also. That one's set to debut in December. That's like a prequel to the Lion Kings. God damn it. A musical. Disney's got some sort of new musical coming to live action Broadway. I can't read my handwriting because I'm stupid. But Hercules is the musical is set to debut on the East End of London in 2025. God damn, there's always one where I can't read it. Elio is Pixar's film coming out in summer of 2025 as well. We got the new Moana 2 trailer, which shows a little bit more about what the story is going to be about. Hoppers is going to be the new Pixar film coming out in spring of 2026. That's still a little ways away. Michael Giacchino revealed his Fantastic Four theme there as well. And I can't read you this last one because I don't know what it says. But yeah, so that's all the stuff that I can recall we got at D23 this week. See if there's any last minute ones that popped up here. Yeah, no, nothing else really revealed here. So, all right. So that's what we got. All right, so that's D23 for this year. We're done. It took us about 20 minutes to cover all that stuff. There's a lot of things that went on there. Again, nothing earth-shattering out there, but still kind of some interesting stuff rolling through there. So now back to our normal program. Deadpool Wolverine set to hit $1 billion this weekend. That was not unexpected. Thanksgiving 2, of course, it was a big hit. Thanksgiving 2 is set to come back out here soon with Addison Rae returning. Whoopi Goldberg is set to star as Mrs. Hannigan in a new Annie revamping tour. It's going to hit New York this holiday season. Beetlejuice, his sequel's coming up not too far from now. It's about a little bit less than a month from now. We get a new Beetlejuice movie. He's got his Keebler cookies, which I talked about last week, and a Fanta soda coming out based on him. Kieran Culkin, Bob Odenkirk, and Bill Barr are set to lead a Glengarry Glen Ross Broadway revival as well. It's always good to hear from the gorgeous Sydney Sweeney. She says that there's going to be a time jump in Euphoria Season 3. Makes sense because it's been years since Euphoria Season 2, and all these actors, you don't look like they're in high school anymore, so it makes sense to do a time jump to wrap things up here. We're getting close to fall, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, not that far from now. And Dolly Parton's Duncan Hines partnership is set to release her pumpkin spice cookie recipe come up here in the fall. Skippy wafer bars have 2 new flavors, banana peanut butter flavor and strawberry peanut butter flavor. Snapple flavored Swedish fish and Sour Patch Kids are set to debut here soon too. Nick Foles retires as an Eagle in the NFL. He's the one that led the Eagles to their Super Bowl win against Tom Brady. The Savannah Bananas has struck a deal with TNT to have 5 of their Friday night games be shown live on TNT. So that's a big deal for them. Local news, a record was set at the White Marlin Open in Ocean City, Maryland. White Marlin Open is one of the biggest and most famous giant fishing competitions in the country. And it had big people like Michael Jordan was hanging out there as well, watching and stuff like that. So it just draw a lot of people. And a new record, marlin, was caught off of the coast of Ocean City, Maryland. So that's a pretty big deal. So good on that. Now, last week I announced that there was a poster for Aubrey Plaza's new film, My Old Ass, but I had no idea what it was about. Well, we got the trailer this week, and I got to tell you, this movie has just moved up into my interest level as well. It has entered the list of ones I wouldn't mind seeing. My Old Ass trailer debuted, and it's fantastic. Basically, it's about three like high school friends who go out to the woods and just to have a little bit of a party. And someone brings like mushrooms, a combination of like psychedelic mushrooms and like LSD, some sort of drug concoction, and they drink it and they start tripping. And the main character, her trip is she is talking to her future self, who's played by Aubrey Plaza. But the weird thing about it is that the future Aubrey Plaza is actually giving her information about her future and what she needs to do to, make her life better, make Aubrey Plaza's life being 40 years old better than here she is at 18 years old. And after the trip is over, she is still seeing Aubrey Plaza's time traveler or whatever, trying to help her out and stuff like that to try to change her life so that Aubrey Plaza's life is better. It's a very interesting idea and a very neat idea, very kind of different idea. And it looks pretty interesting. And then at the same time, the young girl is like, but how can you have, if I don't make these mistakes now, how can you be better off, knowing that these are mistakes if I don't cause it? So it becomes sort of a big sort of fight between the two. So it's really looks really good. And I'm intrigued by it, and we'll see what happens and when it rolls out and what's going to happen. I probably won't see it in the movie theater because I only have, only 2 days of vacation time, unless it comes out on like September 27th, August 1st, or August 11th, or October 11th, or a December 8th. I'm probably not going to see it. So we'll see. Deaths this week. Chichi Rodriguez, a world-class golfer that everybody knows, he passed away this week. And John McBride, an early NASA space shuttle pilot, died at the age of 80 this week. Well, still 2.5 pages of stuff, and we're at 55 minutes here. Doritos Collisions has loaded tacos and nacho cheese coming out in stores now. Getty Tartakovsky's new animated show Fixed has been dropped by the WB, not unexpected because WB sucks ass now. The rights now refer back to Sony, and they're going to try to figure out a way to release it. Todd Haynes' new romantic comedy gets shut down after Joaquin Phoenix leaves the production. Peter Parker becomes the black suit Spider-Man as he accepts the Venom symbiote back on him in Venom War to stop a war between the other Venoms. Steve Orlando is set to write a new Avengers comic, which is going to bring back Avengers Mansion, give them jackets, and also brings Katie Power to the Avengers. New teaser for Wild Robot. Still looks like a great movie. Still looks like a movie I really want to see a lot. Ugly's trailer, set to debut on Netflix on September 13th, is based on a novel which looks like it's a typical dystopian Hunger Games, Twilight sort of thing, love triangle. The premise is about an ugly girl and an ugly guy. They think they're ugly. They're not, but they're just, they're plain looking, who when they hit a certain age or they hit a certain lottery, they get given a makeover and turned into a gorgeous version of themselves. But what is discovered soon after is that even after they get their operation to make them look handsome or beautiful or whatever, they are now under control of the government that does this and forces them to, they get their minds wiped, they change their minds, and now they're no longer the people they were. So all their personalities, everything about them has now been changed. So this one woman who was really excited about getting the beauty thing decides that it's time, that she doesn't like that because the boyfriend that she was interested in is treating her like garbage and it's kind of being an asshole. So she runs off into the woods to discover there's a group of people who know about this and are trying to rebel against it. And she falls in love with one of their people, but then there's this whole triangle thing going on, but whatever. So it looks like a typical sort of, young adult sort of love triangle dystopian sort of place. So that's what Uglies is going to be about. So it looks pretty interesting about that, I guess. Diplomat season 2 with Carrie, I forget her name, from from the Americans, and Felicity. It's set to debut October 31st, Halloween, on Netflix. Archaeologists stumble upon an ancient pot of gold coins in Turkey. That's pretty cool. A 7.1 earthquake hits the Miyazaki prefect in Japan, and a 5.6 earthquake hit California this week. Robert Pattinson and Zendaya are eyed to star in A24's new film, The Drama. A24 is also going to make T. West X trilogy into a series of books. Wolves season 2, or sequel, because it is a movie. Wolves sequel is being developed by Apple TV Plus for George Clooney and Brad Pitt after their surprise hit about two hitmen who are competing against each other, or have to join forces to do this one thing, but try to cause the other one problems. A Different World Legacy sequel series is set with the return of Jasmine Guy and the guy who plays, I forget, the two main actors in that is set to debut. Their daughter is going to be focused on her life in college. So Legacy sequel is set to debut here soon. I already talked about this. Jack Link's Doritos flavored beef jerky is set to be released here soon. The Precious trailer, Steve Soderbergh and David Cope's Ghost Story, is set to hit in January. I did not get a chance to see the trailer, so I'm going to keep an eye out on it. But it's now that it's a Soderbergh Cope Ghost Story, it's increased my interest a little bit. Rebel Ridge trailer is a racially charged film about a police officer who hits a black man on a bicycle minding his own business and turns into a racial fight between the two. Whatever. It's an important film probably, but it's not one that's really interested me too much. Robert Zemeckis' incredibly interesting film idea here with Tom Hanks and Jenna and Princess Buttercup. Can't think of her name right now. Jesus, I'm terrible. God damn it. Robin Wright Penn, that's what it is. Or rather, it's just Robin right now since she's no longer married to Sean Penn. So they're reteaming with Robert Zemeckis in the movie here based on a book, but the way Zemeckis is framing it is he's shooting the whole movie from the perspective of a living room. So the living room in this house, you're going to see it from the beginning of time when dinosaurs roamed it to how it was built in the ancient times and during Civil War era times. And then when the family that we're focused on moves into it, and all the stories telling is going to take place in the one static shot. It's not going to change at all. The actors are going to come in and out, and that's going to be the static shot of the movie. It was set to debut November 15th, I believe. It has now been pushed up to November 1st, so they have high hopes for that, I think. And plus, there's a whole lot of more stuff, as I said, coming out in November now that a lot of people are saying, okay, there's not a lot in the fourth quarter in movie theaters. We've got these movies we're going to either send directly to streaming or we're going to dump in January. Let's dump them here now and get some, possibly get some, and keep the 2024 box office rolling here a little bit. Local news, the Maryland Zoo welcomes a new baby chimpanzee named Ivy. The Disclaimer trailer set to debut October 11th on Apple TV Plus is Alfonso Cuarón's new series with Cate Blanchett, Kevin Kline, Sacha Baron Cohen. Looks. I don't know what this one says. Oh, Monster Cereals. So the Monster Cereals, Frankenberry, Count Chocula, Boo Berry, and the new caramel apple one are going to be coming out when they come out in the next couple weeks for Halloween. They will have animal companions with them, so that's pretty cool. Paddington in Peru trailer debuted this week. Set debut January 17th. Looks like a Paddington movie. It's all good. Ryan Reynolds in a funny, it was definitely a setup, but a funny setup thing. Ryan Reynolds interviews Blake Lively's love interest in her new film. It is actually really funny stuff. You can check it out. It's hilarious. Jenna Ortega is set to join Glenn Powell in the secret J.J. Abrams film. Deaths this week: Kevin Sullivan, a wrestling legend, died at the age of 74, and Patty Yasutake, a Star Trek actress from Star Trek Next Generation, and also was in the TV show Beef, dies at the age of 70. Anniversaries: Always Sunny in Philadelphia debuted 20 years ago this week. Unforgiven debuted 36 years ago this week. Real Genius debuted 39 years ago this week. One more death here real quick. Charles Cyphers, who played Sheriff Brackett from the Halloween franchise, was in Halloween 1 and 2, and then I think came back in the new ones that just came out. He died this week. So Real Genius debuted 39 years ago this week. Princess Diaries 2 with the lovely Anne Hathaway and Chris, the guy who plays Captain Kirk, Chris. God damn, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he's in it as well. Is 20 years old this week. The Sixth Sense debuted this week, 25 years old this week as well. So that's what all that's about. Johnny Cash statue to land in Washington, D.C. That's an interesting place to put a Johnny Cash statue. Don't know why you would put a Johnny Cash statue in Washington, D.C., but here we are. Crocodile Newt has been discovered and looks like a jack-o'-lantern, red, orange, and black colors. More luscious Sydney Sweeney news is being eyed for the female lead in Edgar Wright's Running Man remake with Glenn Powell. Makes sense. Edgar Wright wants to do Barbarella with her. Glenn Powell and her worked so well together in Anyone But You. Honestly, I don't think it's going to happen because that's going to start filming here soon, and she's training to do her film as a female boxer, so I think that's going to take precedence over this. But it's still something interesting to think about. James Cameron once tried to attack Harry Weinstein with his Oscar back in 1997, 98 actually, when it happened. Apparently, it was over the way that Harvey Weinstein treated James Cameron's buddy Guillermo del Toro in the movie Mimic, and Cameron got really pissed and was threatening to club Harvey Weinstein with his massively heavy Oscar he won for editing on Titanic. Last of Us Season 2 teaser trailer was released this week. No idea what this is. Something sneak peek. No idea what that is. McDonald's is reteaming with Pokemon for their new kids meals. John Wick 4 sequel series from Keanu Reeves and the director Chad, whatever his name is set to debut here. Don't know how it's going to work out, but it's set to come out here soon. House of Dragons is set to end at the end of season 4. Snickers pecan bar. If you like pecans, you like Snickers. Instead of peanuts, it'd be pecans in there. Evil Dead animated series in the work with Bruce Campbell coming back to voice Ash. The Outrun trailer with Saoirse Ronan looks like a alcoholic film. Film about alcoholic. A local news: a shark was spotted in the Anne Arundel waterway, which is interesting how they got there. Shrinking returns with season 2, October 18th. That's Harrison Ford and the other guy from How I Met Your Mother, the cool guy. Said debut October 18th. Lord of the Rings musical is in previews right now in Chicago. Stranger Things First Shadow theatrical play is set to debut on Broadway next year. Pitbull has bought the naming rights to FIU's football stadium for $1.2 million per year for 5 years. Don't know what it'll call it, Pitbull Stadium or something completely different, don't know. Video of a chimpanzee using human words has leaked out there. Pumpkin pie M&Ms is a new flavor of M&Ms coming out here real soon for the holidays. Kellogg's Wednesday cookies and cream cereal also probably set to debut in time for Halloween as well. Janet Jackson is going to be has signed a deal to be a artist in residency in Las Vegas. Her brother did it. Celine Dion did it. It's a big thing to do when your career is going down the other slope. and a way to make some extra money and get all your fans to come to Las Vegas, get a way to reason for them to come. It's an interesting way to do things, and is a way to keep yourself. I mean, it's not really at the end of your career. You two did it, it's just it's a way to do it. It's to try to keep surviving instead of having to tour everywhere. You stay in one location that people come to you. So that's an interesting idea. So she's the newest one to do that. Res Ball is a new series set in the Native American territory about a basketball player and his friend who passes away. That's a debut September 27th on Netflix. LeBron James, executive producer, as is the people who did the Reservation Dogs movie. They're also going to be producing it as well. Goons is a new movie that picks up Chloe Bailey and Michael Rauch Jr. in a new horror film from the guy who directed the first Purge. Gamera Redneck Bonsai is a fake fan-made trailer, which is kind of interesting and funny. A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan biopic, is set to debut now on Christmas Day. So that's good for that. Outcome film is set to debut Missy Peregrine and Adam McDonald. It's a horror thriller. No idea what that is. David Lynch is not retiring, despite everybody saying he was going to. But David Lynch does have emphysema, and because of that, he will not be able to be on sets of movies anymore. He'll only be able to direct from the safety of his own home due to his emphysema. So people were thinking that he was retiring and said he was going to retire, and that is not true. Death, Billy Bean, former Major League Baseball player and owner, or a general manager, I should say, of the Oakland Athletics. The book and movie Moneyball is based about him. He died at the age of 60 this week. Anniversaries, Halloween H2O, which actually is a pretty decent Halloween sequel, came out 26 years ago this week. Risky Business debuted 41 years ago this week. Dick debuted 25 years ago this week, another great film. Hollow Man debuted 24 years ago this week, Kevin Bacon's horror, Paul Verhoeven's action Invisible Man movie. The Rocketeer, a fantastic movie, debuted 33 years ago this week. Collateral, one of Tom Cruise's best roles, and Jamie Foxx is pretty good there, and directed by Michael Mann, debuted 20 years ago this week as well. And a small amount of stuff left in this episode, and then I'm going to be done for the week. And the first one I can't even read. Deadpool Wolverine passes the power of the Passion of the Christ as the highest grossing R-rated film. I still to this day believe the Passion of the Christ is what has put us in the situation we're in now, because the Baptists, who are awful, terrible people, turn that movie into a huge hit, and the politicians are like, oh, damn, here's a group of people that we should really rely on, even though they're hateful, religious jackasses, and also made me hate Mel Gibson a lot as well. But Deadpool Wolverine now rules that, and that's even better. Woman of the Hour trailer, Anna Kendrick stars and directs in her directorial debut of a film we've been talking about for a while. It's based on a true story about a woman who goes on a date that she met from the dating game. Turned out to be a hugely hugely famous serial killer, and it's going to be sort of a look at all this stuff as well. It's an interesting idea for a debut film for Anna Kendrick, but it looks good. The Mountain Dew 4th of July flavors that hit this year will be back next year. And Benjamin Gay, Browns running back, died in a car accident at age 44. I think I did that last week, but I just saw that there were. Anniversaries, Cujo, 39 years ago this week, and Police Academy, 40 years ago this week. And that is it for this week's episode of Dylan Knows. I should say the D23 episode is what I probably should have named the episode, but I've done a D23 name before, so I figured I may as well just go with. I kind of like the D23 episode now, but it's too late now because I can't go back and change it. That's okay though. So I am done here. Thank you for watching. No one did, but in the future you will be. Thank you again for having me have 103 followers, which is great. So thank you all who've joined recently and who are still members. Next week, as I said, probably be on a Saturday night. I am home alone because Sunday morning they'll be back and I want to hang out with my family. But probably Saturday night I'll probably do the show here. So don't see anything. There's nothing major coming up this week. Alien Romulus is the only big thing really popping up this week that we know of. No D23, no VP announcements. That was all last week. The Netflix Geeked Week is not till September. So really not much going on. So we'll see what this week's brings in pop culture. No more D23 stuff. So we'll see what happens. All right. Once again, as I say, I have to take a shit again. So time to leave. Bye.